Update. I married my sister's crush. Original post. My sister and my husband went to college together. She had a crush on him since day one. He was all she talked about. They became part of a very close group of friends, and that same year she invited him and her friends to spend Boxing Day with my family. That's where I met him. We got intimate that same night, and I felt horrible. My sister eventually moved on. She met her husband and she got married last summer. Under all these years, my husband and I met sporadically, and one of the times he told me he loved me, but what could we have done? We tried to date others and I tried to forget him, but I couldn't imagine myself with anyone else, and that made my relationships short and loveless. We met again officially on my sister's wedding. She had invited all her college friends. My husband and I met and he asked me to stop running away, and we started dating secretly. A year later, he proposed. Now I had to tell my family, and I have never endured so much hate and isolation in my whole life. So I lied to them. I told them that we met at my sister's wedding and we hit it off. I never told them how I've been in love with him for almost a decade, and that we have met at least once a year since that Christmas. They've been the best days of my life. My sister is happily married and she just had her baby. Still, she told me she hated me and never wanted anything to do with me. My family shared the same sentiment, that I'm a horrible person. My husband told me he didn't care about a wedding if my family not showing up would hurt me. We have wasted many years and that we didn't choose to fall for each other. He wanted me to be his wife. I still sent invitations to my family, but nobody showed up. Only my friends and my husband's family. I wish they could forgive me for finally choosing my happiness. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. How sad. She had a crush on him 10 years ago, and now she's married with a baby. Her poor man must feel really special now. I haven't spoken to her husband, but he wasn't happy at all about her or my family's reaction. Although he thought my husband and I met at his wedding, so he just thinks it's cute and his wife's reaction questionable. Your sister is a bit psycho. She had a crush and it wasn't returned. She moved on and you guys fell in love. She clearly isn't over it or she wouldn't care. Your family's being ridiculous too. Life is short and you deserve your own happiness. You know, sleeping with him that first night when you knew your sister liked him wasn't right, but you tried to make up for that since. Live your life and be happy. Imagine calling dibs on a car seat then sitting in a different seat, but still refusing to let somebody else sit on the one you called dibs for. Everyone would think you're absolutely ridiculous. And that's a car seat, not a human. I had a guy friend growing up that would call dibs every time we'd bring over a girl he found attractive. It was so gross. I was hoping that was a teenager/young adult mentality. Does all your family and your sister think you guys got involved the day of her wedding? Or do any of them know about when you met? Nobody knows. No, I can't tell them the truth. That's so weird your whole family's acting like that then. Your sister is married, has a kid, and it's been a decade. I genuinely don't understand why would they hate you. Did your sister explain why? I feel like OP isn't telling us the whole story. Edit. I'm getting a lot of questions about telling the whole story. I don't know what more I should have written here other than this. Maybe I didn't do a good job about my sister's crush. My sister is outgoing and she was always open with her thoughts and feelings. So her crush on my husband was a well-known thing to us sisters and mother, and it was known for the longest time. That's why, 1, if they have known about me and him going back longer than what I've said, believe me, they would have confronted me a long time ago. Given their strong reaction after I told them even after all these years, they wouldn't be silent if they knew something was up. Also, they were really shocked and felt that I betrayed my sister and hurt her feelings because he's an old crush, and we don't date each other's crushes, let alone marry them. 2, I misjudged my sister's crush. We all knew she was in love and that she was hurt when he didn't reciprocate. But I thought by the time she met her husband she was over him. Now I'm not sure. 3, I haven't spoken to my sister's husband in months, but from what I've heard, he's not happy about her reaction and things aren't going so well with them. This is also added to why my family is angry because I caused the rift between my sister and brother-in-law. 4, we are 4 sisters. I'm the second oldest and my sister in question is the youngest. All 4 of us are of similar age and closer than best friends. Were anyway. This adds more because she feels really betrayed. I really hope I filled all the missing information now. Sorry for not being clear, and I'm sorry this isn't adequate as the full story. Now for the first update. I'm getting DMs that my post is on TikTok, and that my sister is in a comment saying that I lied and that she had in fact dated my husband for 5 years. Where is this comment? Since I'm overwhelmed with a number of replies and DMs, so if some kind soul could just tag me on her comments. There's no truth to that. It's either a troll or some other poster because all the people who said my sister has answered are refusing to show me her post. Anyway, I'm going to send an email to my family tonight and include the whole truth. It's my last attempt at redemption. If they still don't want anything to do with me, I will leave them be and move on with my life and try to find solace in my new family. Thank you all for listening. Second and full update. Hi everyone. I thought I could make an update about my post since I received a lot of advice about coming clean to my family about when and how I started dating my husband. Sorry it's very long, but at least nobody can complain that I've left out some details. But before that, I want to clarify a few points. If you want the update, skip 2 paragraphs. My sister has not written any posts about her side of the story. I got a lot of awful DMs yesterday from people who pretend to have talked to my sister about how she was dating my husband for 5 years. Not only an answered crush, and yet nobody could or would send me the post. One commenter even sent me something from the AITA about a lady whose daughter made an ultimatum about her choosing one of her grandchildren. That's not me. I don't have children. I only ever have written one post about this before, and it was when I sent the wedding invitations and my family said they won't come. Of course, there will always be people who doubt my story. I always see at least 10 comments on every post ever written here about it being fake. Why are you people like this? To those people, I have only one thing to say. I don't care. Also, many ask about the full story because my mother's reaction was so strong. I've tried to explain it in the comments. My sister is the youngest and everyone's favorite, and her crush on my husband was well known. And when he didn't reciprocate her feelings, my mom was very hurt for her sake. As for the rest, they just do what mom says, since she's the matriarch of the family. I would have understood their reaction if they knew the whole truth because I will never forgive myself for what I did. My only comfort is that, before we spent that night together, my husband told me that he never liked my sister that way, and he wouldn't be with her no matter if I was with him or not. He kept saying that, and that he saw her as a sister even later throughout the years. Now to the update. As I said, many of you suggested that I should come clean. And there are pros and cons. Pros is that it's the right thing to do. And if my sister wants to hate me, she has the right to know the full extent of my betrayal. I will never pretend what I did back then was right. I just fell for him. Is that a good enough excuse? And seeing that I still love him so many years later, it was real from the beginning. Cons is that it would probably hurt my sister even more, and probably jeopardize her marriage even more if it turns out she's still hung up over my husband. So I wrote a long email to my mother telling her everything and asking her what I should do. I texted her to go read it. That was last night. This morning she called me and was so cold. She didn't ask how I've been, didn't congratulate me, didn't ask about my husband. She was on point and warned me about telling my sister anything. She said that my brother-in-law has moved out from their home and is asking for divorce. So if I told my sister everything now, it will only make it worse for her. She said that I'm not allowed to contact my sister in any way and for any reason. I should leave her alone and move on with my life. She said that she couldn't believe her eyes when she read my email, and how horrible I actually have been towards my sister. Worse than I thought. My mom's coldness made me understand how much I've hurt my family. I apologized about everything. I apologized for my sister and for breaking our family, and she said, "Is there anything else?" Fine, goodbye then. Later, my oldest sister called me. She has always been the gentlest, and she told me that she missed me and that mom told her everything. The separation between my little sister and her husband is serious. They have been fighting for months now, and he left on my wedding day because my sister was very angry and crying all day. Big sister said that they didn't want to bother me with these details in my honeymoon. I asked her if she was angry at me, and she said that none of them actually is. Maybe except little sister, but that I should give it time. I've talked to my husband now about everything, and I asked him if we have messed up. He just comforted me and told me to be patient, but I don't know. Our marriage started with hardship, and at the cost of one of my favorite people and her husband. I'm so sorry. Edit? Please, I'm gonna have to ask you to stop about the sister's side of the story. I'm too old for TikTok, but whatever is going on TikTok about my sister having dated my husband is BS. This is so disrespectful to my husband. He's never been unfaithful. He loved me for almost 10 years, and yet he never cheated on any of his girlfriends with me. We went long periods of no contact when he was in relationships. So cheating on my sister is just a cruel, cruel rumor. Please stop. And please stop DMing me about TikTok unless you have my sister's alleged post. If no one else is mad, then why didn't they go to the wedding? This still doesn't make sense. Because Mommy Dearest said so. I guess will be that Golden Child was upset and Mommy was upset that Golden Child was upset, and the other members of her family didn't want to get on their bad side. For her own good, Opie should really consider going low contact or no contact. I honestly hate families like this. Okay, so the little sister is mad that her crush from a decade ago is marrying her older sister to the point she blows up her marriage. And Mom is sad for her youngest daughter and wishes to help her, and everyone doesn't want to disagree with Mom? What they're completely ignoring is that little sister will get over this. She will go to counseling, move on, and realize that it was excessive. But the OP is never going to forget this. Everyone in the family has effectively told her that she does not matter and she will never forgive them. She hasn't gotten over him in 10 years. Unless she gets help, this isn't going to change. Pretty sure the sister was in love with the idea. They never dated and were only friends. So she has no idea if they even would have worked. She's acting like her sister took something from her, but she was never even with him. The what-ifs can be genuinely painful, but tearing down your marriage and family over the idea of something that never was, it's mental. She said I'm not allowed to contact my sister in any way and for any reason. This is the worst part of the story for me. The mom is still trying to control how her adult children interact with each other, and is stoking the fire of resentment instead of trying to help extinguish it. My guess is that she spent the entirety of their lives setting them against each other to a greater or lesser degree. Why? Because divide and conquer. They can't unite against her while she keeps them splintered. Opie didn't do anything to harm her sister's marriage. I expect that her losing her mind over Opie's marriage was the final straw for a man who had been living with a grown woman, stuck in the mindset of a spoiled child. Now for the last story. I, 25 female, found out through my biological sister, 19 female, that my husband, 26 male, was exting my stepsister, 22 female. My husband and I have been together 6 years, married for 5. Our relationship with each other is very stable and trusting, and our relationship with each other's families are happy, stable, and intertwined, due to my husband working with my father, 49 male, / co-owning the business. My family loves and trusts him. My stepsister is depressed and mentally / emotionally held back due to some trauma from her father and mother. She has always had trouble finding herself or a purpose in her life. My husband and I have always been there for her to try and guide her. She finds trouble opening up to me sometimes. She says she is intimidated by my success in life, and due to her temporarily working in close proximity to my father's business, her and my husband have gotten closer, as she sought his guidance with what to do with her life. This was fine with me. I was always in the loop of what she was texting my husband. He always showed me the conversations and asks my opinion and how to respond to her. I believe she was not aware that I was in the loop with the conversations between them. My husband and I kept it that way to help her open up more, in hopes of getting through her, as she shuts down very quickly if she feels judged and will lose all progress and start from scratch. My stepsister always had self-esteem and body image issues, which she had shared in texts with my husband, and he tries to guide her to love herself and get over the trauma from her parents. I was always aware and okay with this. I love my stepsister and want to see her flourish. Now, my biological sister and my stepsister were having a sleepover. My biological sister had my stepsister's phone at some point during the night, and a text message popped up from my husband to my stepsister with inappropriate emojis. Drooling emoji, hard eyes emoji, etc. My biological sister opened a text thread and sent me an hour's worth of my stepsister telling my husband her kinks and private interests, and him encouraging her to embrace her fetishes and that they are sexy. They exchanged more inappropriate emojis. He comments on her butt getting bigger and her calling him pet names. I immediately confront my husband about this, and he doesn't deny the text exchange. He explains, in tears, that his goal was not to make her feel judged. He just wanted my stepsister to continue to open up and that he would never hurt me. He is disappointed in himself for letting that conversation get that far, and he realizes his mistake. He apologized profusely and is terrified of me leaving him. He realizes that he's ruined everything. He said he is cutting off contact with my stepsister and will text her one last time explaining how inappropriate that was and that they can't continue to speak. I'm conflicted. This is very on character for my stepsister, and she is dead to me now. and very off character for my husband. He is always respectful and level-headed. I'm deeply hurt and lost. I understand letting my stepsister spill her desires to feel validated, but I'm disgusted that it went that far. I'm confused. My husband's apology felt sincere, but I'm nauseated by the messages I saw and can't get over them. I'm considering couples therapy or individual therapy or just separating for a brief amount of time to process all of this. But I'm scared this will get out to the rest of the family and ruin amazing relationships and a great family business. Family's extremely important to me. This feels so complicated. Is this recoverable? What to do? Now for the advice. Tell the rest of close family, especially your father. You don't need to keep their secrets. You're not the one who's destroying the family but them. Your husband is sorry because he got caught, not because he hurt you. Try trial separation so you can think properly what you really want. Don't rug sweep what happened, because if you do, he will continue to cheat on you. Maybe not with your stepsister, but with other women. This 100% OP. You have nothing to be ashamed of, and you should tell. Tell everyone. They betrayed you and he's counting on you but wanting to rock the boat. It was your sister. Step or not, that's insane. He is sorry he got caught. He will be more careful now. Someone who will do that with your family? No? Nope. Not salvageable. Doesn't matter if it's off character for your husband. The fact of the matter is that he cheated. And you probably can never come back from this. You won't be able to trust him again and always wonder if he was cheating on you behind your back. And very importantly, let everyone know what kind of a person your stepsister is. This is one of those moments where airing your dirty laundry is not a bad thing. It will also prevent her from spinning the story in her favor.